Aloha friends, welcome back to another Sunday update on my health journey. This week I'm going to show you how to make some carnivore cereal. It's a recipe that's been on my blog for a couple years now, and I was just craving it, so I'm going to make it. I thought, hey, why not show you how to make it too? But I have some exciting news. Most of you know I have the most extreme form of wanderlust than any other person you know. And I've had the great opportunity to travel around the world, and one of my very favorite places was Thailand. So last time we went to Thailand 2 years ago in the south to Phi Phi Island and Phuket, but we're going to the north this time to Chiang Mai. We're gonna go to elephant sanctuaries. We're gonna see the street markets. We're gonna do so many fun things, and I've met my best friends on these retreats. So if you're looking for just a group of people to make friends with and travel with, and I mean, when you travel with somebody, you're just bound to be best friends after that. But I had so much fun. So I want you to think about this. Are you freezing right now? Are you literally freezing your butt off? Are you sick of being cold? Because I grew up in Wisconsin, and right about now, early February, I wanted out. I wanted to get in the sun, be warm. So we're gonna go next January, and the first 8 people to sign up are gonna save big time. So today is the first day to sign up. You wanna do it. First 8 people save big time, and it's literally just a wonderful place to go. I had literally the best food of my life, the freshest seafood, just the greatest food, except for I did get scallops, and it said they had cheese on the top, and they came with American cheese on top of these beautiful scallops in the shell. And I looked at the waiter, I was like, do you have anything besides American cheese? He's like, well, you're American, don't you want this kind of cheese? And I said, no, thank you. And my lobster came out with American cheese, and he's like, I'll fix it. So they went back and they put like some fresh parm on it and broiled that. It was fantastic after that, but they were so nice, and they were so willing to fix that. They just thought, hey, you're American, you want American cheese, right? So that was my funny story there, but we just had so much fun in Thailand. And don't be afraid to come alone. I'm going alone. I love traveling alone. And on the last Thailand retreat, 5 women, there were men on the retreat too, but 5 women came alone, and they became just the best of friends. And I promise you will, I never knew what I was going to get when people sign up for these retreats. I love everybody. I've had so much fun with all the people. And yeah, so if you're just looking for a fun group of people to travel with, you're going to want to check this out. I'll have the link below, but you're going to want to hurry because today's the day to sign up. And in the past, they have filled in a day. My Greece trip filled in a day. So hurry, don't delay. It's very affordable. You're going to have the best massage of your life for $15. Literally, the best massage I've ever had was there. That's why they call it Thai massage. I've had the best food, and a lobster dinner is going to be less than $10. So super affordable and just so much fun. So I hope you join me, and I hope you enjoy this week's update. And have you been to Thailand? Comment below on what you thought of it. I loved it. Aloha, everybody. Craig and I wanted to talk to you about a few different things, specifically about perimenopause. And men, you're going to want to hear some of this too, because it's going to change your life. I think people don't realize perimenopause starts 10 years before menopause, which is one day. So if you're in your even late 30s, you could be experiencing some of these issues. When estrogen declines, so every part of your body has an estrogen receptor. Even your salivary glands have an estrogen receptor. So digestion starts when you put food into your mouth. And if you're low in estrogen, that's when you might notice some gut changes. You might notice IBS because your gut has estrogen receptors, diverticulitis, different issues like that, frozen shoulder, chronic UTIs, your skin's gonna change, you're gonna lose collagen and elastin. Oh my gosh, brain changes, arteries start to stiffen. So heart disease, that's why that's the #1 killer in women. Fat distribution changes, mood changes, so many things change without estrogen. But not only estrogen declines, testosterone declines. I don't know who decided that testosterone is a male hormone and estrogen is a female hormone, because females actually have more testosterone than they have estrogen. A lot of it gets converted into estrogen, but it's still very important. And that's another reason why muscle issues happen, mood changes happen. Testosterone is not just for libido or sexual health. It's for a lot of things. Even ophthalmologists, they have eye drops that have testosterone in them to help with dry eye and different eye abnormalities. Sleep changes happen. But a big thing that happens, which is why I brought Craig in here, is you become more insulin resistant without estrogen. So your diet should change. Obviously, you'd eat the perfect diet all the time. And let me say, even if you eat the perfect diet, you're still going to have your hormones decline. So don't be fooled into eating a stick of butter to have that not happen, because it's going to happen. We are going to age. And I just want you to age gracefully. Somebody in the last video that we posted commented that people are just in it for money. I'm telling you, my family's life has changed because of hormones, whether it be for good or for bad. Friends' lives have changed for this, whether it be for good or for bad. And so we are out here because we want you to live your best life.
We don't make any money off of BHRT or any of that.
No.
I mean, you have to get a prescription for that.
We're not medical doctors. Always ask your doctor. But knowledge is power. And so with this information, actually knowledge isn't power. Action is power, right? So with this knowledge, I hope that you take something out of this. But your diet should change once your hormones start to decline, especially if you decide not to do HRT. And one of them is insulin resistance. And what causes insulin resistance? I
was going to comment as well that the vast majority of the people that we have come to us who are doing all of the, eat all the fattiest cuts of meat, carnivore, high-fat carnivore, eating sticks of butter, all of that advice and failing and gaining weight, vast majority of the time, it's postmenopausal women. And we see this all the time, that when you go through that stage, some additional insulin resistance happens, your metabolism changes, and your diet has to change to adjust to that. You can't, it's not a one-size-fits-all.
It's not a one-size-fits-all.
You need to adjust your diet based on your goals, based on your body, based on your age and hormonal state and all these other factors.
Well, one other thing is a lot of the maybe carnivore experts or natural type doctors, they might say HRT isn't natural. And let me tell you, every single ancient civilization used some form of HRT. We were just at the newest Egyptian museum in Cairo, or was it in Giza? But anyway, the museum, they showed us how they used different forms of HRT. Every single civilization used adaptogens, herbs, tinctures to combat low hormones. And guess what? We're living longer than we ever have. I believe that women deserve better. So that's why we're putting this out there.
If you go way back to like 100,000 years ago, our early ancestors, the early humans, and talk about them, yes, they were apex carnivores at that time period. And, people will say, well, they didn't have hormones. Well, guess what? They lived to an average age of like 32. So they didn't really need anything.
No.
So we don't want to model after that.
No. So when you do hit this stage, if you notice that you can't eat the same anymore, you notice that fat distribution maybe in your belly area, you can't build muscle as easy, and all of your tips and tricks that you used to do when you were in 20s doesn't work anymore. This is when I believe protein is extra important, because one of the things that's going to happen is bone loss. And tell us about bones. What are they?
Well, and that's the other thing that, again, changes with the diet and method with age. It's a very important factor, because as we get older, there's some leucine is the amino acid that's primarily responsible, sort of like a switch, to turn on muscle building. And you need about 2.5 grams of leucine when you're younger to start building muscle. But as you get older, over 40, 50, especially over 60, it gets shifted more and more, where you need more and more leucine, maybe 3 grams or even more than 3 grams of leucine to start building muscle. So what does this mean? If you eat the same amount of protein as when you're in your 30s, when you're 60, you may not be stimulating muscle building. You need to eat more protein, more complete protein that has a good amount of leucine, which are your animal proteins, your eggs, that will have a lot a complete amino acid profile, including a good amount of leucine, you need to eat more of that when you get older just to maintain your muscle.
One of the reasons is as we age, we produce less hydrochloric acid. That is, when people have acid reflux, they think that it's too much acid, but in reality, it's usually too little. Also, digestive enzymes start to lower, and that's why maybe you have a great grandmother who eats like a bird and doesn't really taste their food much. That's some of the reasons, but that's also why you need more protein, because you don't absorb as much without those. So you could do a supplement if you want to, or eat more protein, but your bones are a matrix of protein. And so if you're experiencing osteopenia or osteoporosis, which is a real thing, that's where protein is very, very important.
Well, and those digestive issues are on top of the leucine shift. So, I mean, it stacks up, and you really have to focus on the protein for sure.
Right. And here's the thing to it, and it's not meant to be an argument about high fat or high protein, because we're not saying no fat. We're just saying if you're having a ribeye, to put a stick of butter on it, unless you're like
excessive,
have no extra body fat,
and you're very active,
it's
and that kind of thing,
very excessive. And I also want to point out, tell them about, like, if we put a plate in front of you with all the nutrients, or
and actually, just to hammer home that point, and we see comments as well. Your dietary fat has to be based on your goals.
Yes.
And so people say, well, so and so eats high fat and it does well, because they're very lean and they're active and they're in maintenance. That's what you want.
And they're 20.
You want to increase the fat as you get, and maybe some carbs, depending on your situation and all that, as you get to maintenance, because you need energy. Nobody is saying you should eat only lean protein when you're in maintenance. That's not a good idea for anyone.
That's another thing. Protein isn't an energy source.
Yep.
So fat is, and carbohydrates are.
So you need to either use fat and carbs from the diet or fat and carbs from the body as fuel. If you have very little fat on the body, you need more in the diet.
I don't understand where this miscommunication is going on, where we can't use our body fat for fuel.
Yeah, that's the thing that frustrates me as well, is the whole protein poisoning. I saw that in this last video that we did, where people talk about, well, if you just eat lean, you're going to have protein poisoning. That's like saying you have a car that the gas tank's 3/4 full, and you got to quickly get to the gas station to add more gas, because otherwise the car's going to die. That's just silly. I mean, the whole point of having body fat is to use it later when you don't have as much in the diet. And like, it's like this gas tank, this massive gas tank of stored energy, your body fat, especially if you're overweight or obese, is somehow not able to be tapped into. And then it's just silly.
And we're not saying no fat, but we're saying 400 grams of butter is excessive for 99% of people.
200 grams of butter is excessive.
Yeah. And so with this, we need more protein, not just women, but men too. That's why I wanted men to listen in on this. Without estrogen, you're going to become more sensitive to caffeine, more sensitive to alcohol. So those things are really going to affect your sleep. You're already going to have sleep issues because of low progesterone.
To circle back to what you're asking me about, so protein is one of the interesting things, and I made this a long time ago for my Carnivore presentation at like 8-9 years ago at KetoCon. I had a plate with a steak and some kale and some blueberries on it, and asked people, where are your vitamins and minerals coming from? And most people would say the kale or the blueberries at that time, but it was the steak. And here's the important thing about the steak. Okay, let's now look at the steak. You take the fat off the steak and the lean protein part of the steak, okay, and separate those and ask, where are your vitamins and minerals coming from? Almost all of it is in the protein, not in the fat. And I will post a chart here showing that. The protein, the lean protein, is where all the vitamins and minerals are. The fat part just has some vitamin A, a little bit of a couple of vitamins and minerals, but by far, not even close. You can see the steak has far more vitamins and minerals. So if you talk about nutrient density, you're talking about the protein, the lean part of the protein. And again, I'm not vilifying fat. Fat is your fuel, especially if you're in maintenance. but you just don't need to add the stick of butter on top of that.
Right. I don't think anybody would argue if you put a plate in front of them with all the nutrients they need for the day, or a plate in front of them that has maybe just 10% of the nutrients you need for the day. Which one are you going to choose? You're going to choose the one with all the vitamins and minerals,
Always,
right?
Yeah, always.
So that's why we just kind of want to hammer home this point. Also, strength training. I don't think women understand the importance of strength training. Most of you know I was a runner for 22 years. I never missed a day of running, not once. Even if I had a flight at 5 a.m., I would get up at 3 to make sure I had time to run. And giving that up, I thought it would be harder than it was. Now I strength train and my body composition has gotten so much better. My energy has gotten better. But strength training is going to help with so many things. It's going to help with your bones. It's going to help, obviously, with your muscles. It's going to help with your skin elasticity. Muscle is an organ, right?
Yeah.
So strength training is going to be really important.
And again, especially as we get older,
yes.
That you want to
sarcopenia.
Hold on to that muscle, and strength training is so important for that.
Right. I just feel so much better now that I've put on a few pounds of muscle. Yeah.
So we didn't really touch on insulin resistance.
No, we didn't. We should talk about that.
Well, or we can save that for the next week. And I also want to talk about how fat isn't a free food. I think we should talk about that too in the next one.
And the next one. Okay, well, I just want to cover a couple things for perimenopause, postmenopause, supplements that can be very, very important at this time. I think the number one supplement that a lot of people don't take is vitamin K2.
Yeah.
Vitamin K2 is so important, especially with that bone loss that's going to happen without estrogen if you choose not to have HRT.
So for people that aren't familiar, there's K1 and K2.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear K, you might think clotting.
No.
That's K1. Vitamin K2 is primarily responsible for calcium metabolism. So it regulates calcium metabolism. It gets the calcium to where it should be in the bones and keeps it out of places where it shouldn't be, like your plaque on your teeth, plaque in your arteries, kidney stones,
yes.
etc.
So if you experience kidney stones, vitamin K2 is going to be very, very important. Or plaque in your arteries, vitamin K2 is super important. This is something you'd want to take with food and pair it with vitamin D3 if you know that your levels are low. Vitamin D3, I mean, it's so important for muscle building. It's important for your mental health. It's important for a lot of things.
In
Heart health.
COVID, we saw how important it was for immune health. It's a lot of things. Yeah.
Right. I think the number 2 supplement would be magnesium, like a form of magnesium, like magnesium glycinate, not magnesium oxide. That's just milk of magnesia. It's just going to give you the runs. I don't like magnesium citrate, but something like magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate, especially if you're having some brain fog. But magnesium glycinate there's over 300 biological reactions that happens with magnesium. And the reason supplementation is important is we used to find magnesium in our water supply. Yeah. But just like farmers know that they need to rotate their crops, there's no more minerals in the soil. There's no more magnesium. We live on a well. We have a well where we live, and our well water has 0 magnesium.
But most people are on filtered city water, filtered bottled water. Everything is filtered out. So.
Right. But it's important for your bones. Magnesium is more important than calcium. It's more of a 4:1 ratio magnesium to calcium. Most people think it's the other way. It's magnesium is more important. It's important for sleep. It's going to calm you down. It lowers anxiety. It helps with nerve function. So many parts of your body needs magnesium. I think even children should try this. If you do have any sort of gut issues or malabsorption issues, topical magnesium or Epsom salt baths are very helpful. I also think that alpha GPC could be helpful, especially if you have brain fog. It helps raise your human growth hormone. That's a really powerful one. And I also want to talk about electrolytes. Did you want to touch on that? Oh yeah, here we go.
There we go. Element is our favorite.
That was not there in a product promotion. It was just there.
Yeah, I always have one around to sip on, and I rarely drink liquids without some electrolytes in them. I find I do better with that.
Mm-hmm. Especially in the heat here in Hawaii.
Yeah, especially here in Hawaii, I do more here for sure, and I feel a lot better when I do.
But like I was saying, magnesium is so important. You can't absorb it without sodium.
Yeah, sodium is one of those, it's really interesting. The body has some mechanisms for balancing your electrolytes. It doesn't like them out of balance. And the mechanism for potassium is through sodium. What I mean by that is if you don't get enough sodium, the body will leach potassium till they're balanced. So it's important to get your sodium up. And another reason with low carb, and there's lots of others, but get your sodium up so that you keep and hold on to the potassium that you're getting through your food and whatnot.
Well, speaking of that, maybe we should back up. The reason why electrolytes are so important on a low carb, ketogenic, carnivore diet is because carbohydrates retain water. And as you eliminate those carbohydrates, along goes all this water loss. You might notice low energy, low moods without potassium. A lot of people get depressed.
Muscle cramps.
Heavy legs walking upstairs, muscle cramps. And you can't just drink more water because nothing is holding on to that hydration, right?
You need electrolytes.
You need something to hold on to it, and that's electrolytes. This is also going to help with constipation. A lot of people think, oh, I'm constipated because I don't have fiber. No, two things probably. You're eating too much dairy. Dairy is going to cause constipation for most people. And second of all, you need hydration in that colon. And without carbohydrates, you need something to hydrate the colon, and that's going to be electrolytes.
Yep, exactly.
Super important for constipation too. And that can happen with perimenopause, postmenopause.
And if you want some of this, go to drinkelement.com/KetoMaria and you get a free sample pack.
They're a super nice company. Why not support small business? And I mean, they're getting to be a pretty big business now.
Yeah.
But yeah, potassium is super important. All the electrolytes. I don't like it when people say you don't need electrolytes. I mean, I went first years of, I've been keto for 25 years now in March, and I didn't use any electrolytes. Let me tell you, I ran marathons and I would pass out at the end because I was so dehydrated. Yeah. And it's just, I wish I would have started earlier. I wish I would have known how important they were, because my runs would have been better, my moods would have been better, my energy would have been better with some electrolytes. Because now I do quite a bit. I need a lot, but I feel so much better with them.
Yeah, and it's somewhat dependent on how much liquids you drink during the day. I'm the kind of person, I'm always sipping.
Yeah.
And so I need more electrolytes to support that.
Right.
If you're somebody who rarely drinks anything during the day, I mean, our general rule is get your electrolytes right as far as, decent amounts and where you feel good.
Yeah.
And then just drink to thirst.
Right. But there are some carnivores out there that say no salt.
Yeah. But they also rarely drink any liquids.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to eliminate daily. I think that's really important, the elimination daily.
That's not a flex to be so constipated you only go once a week.
Well,
I'm sorry, it's not.
They say it's not constipation.
Well, here's the thing. It is. I'm sorry. Two things. Number one, if you're not moving things through you on a regular basis, your body will reabsorb things like heavy metals, and especially if you've got, like I did, SIRS and mold issues and heavy metals, you don't want that stuff getting reabsorbed. You want to keep things moving. And I was strict carnivore for a lot of years because of my Lyme pain.
Yes, longer than most of the carnivores out there.
Longer than most of the carnivores out there. And I still went number 2 every day.
Yeah.
Because I made sure to get electrolytes all the time.
Yeah, we also did magnesium for you.
And did magnesium, and I have really good bowel movements, like once a day, very regular. and to flex that, only because I'm using all the nutrients. No, you're not. I was eating just beef, and I was still going once a day, very normal.
Right.
And it's not that the body's somehow magically absorbing more stuff out of it.
No, but you want to detox. Like when we say estrogen dominance, there are 3 different types of estrogen, and one of them we don't want high in excess, and that can come from environmental factors, scented candles, fragrance sprays, lotions and makeups, and all these toxins that we're putting on our body, and you want to flush those out of your body. And if you're not eliminating, you're not eliminating.
And the longer that is in your digestive tract, it's going to reabsorb some of those chemicals and whatnot. So you don't want that.
So if you want Craig and I to talk about, what did you want to say the next one? Insulin resistance?
And why fat isn't a free food.
Why fat isn't a free food. And I also want to talk about HRT, the types that are recommended and the some that are not recommended, such as oral HRT, pellets, and those types of things. So if you want us to talk about those, comment below, or if there's another topic you'd like us to cover next time, let us know. All right, friends, we were at the Grand Wailea to have dinner, and we're going to that restaurant, Humu Humu Uku Uku Aka Ah. I don't know what it's called, but This is it. It's all like little huts, very, very cute. So come have dinner with us. All right, so I have the octopus, don't shoot me, sauce on the side. And what did you get, Craig?
Ahi.
Ahi, some kind of raw ahi. Bon appetit. All right, thank you. We have the spiny lobster. Thank you. Spiny lobster tamka. Filet. Yum. Bon appetito. All right, so dinner is done. I'll say that was probably the most expensive place we've been to ever. And it was just okay. I mean, the views obviously are beautiful, but you can get a beautiful view just about anywhere here on the island. Lobster was pretty chewy. Octopus was kind of, I don't know, slimy. The steak was not up to my par, was it, Craig?
Not charred at all.
Not charred at all.
Ahi was really good. Brussels was good.
Ahi was good. Brussels were good. So if you come to Maui, I mean, it's an experience. So yeah, check it out. Okay, friends, I was craving some cereal, so we're making some carnivore cereal, and I wanted to show you how to make it. I was just gonna do it, but I thought, hey, maybe I should do a video because it's just so easy. This is kind of like the Reese's peanut butter cereal. We're just gonna do chocolate, but if you do have the peanut butter equip, you could do half peanut butter, half chocolate, and kind of mix those. But we're just gonna do some chocolate now. I'm going to do a double batch, so I have 2 tablespoons of softened butter, but you could use coconut oil if you want this to be totally dairy-free. And since we're doing a double batch, we're going to place 4 scoops of the equip into this bowl, and we're going to make a little paste with it. All right? So this is super high protein cereal, really, really delicious. And you want the butter to be softened, but not liquid. You kind of still want it to be holding its shape. So solid, but not liquid, but not cold, I should say. Now this paste is a little tricky to make. Just kind of keep doing this. This is how I would make a shake in the airport, is make a paste first before adding too much liquid. Otherwise you get clumps. So I should have measured the butter because I might not have added enough. I'm having a hard time making this paste. All right, let's get in there. Then into another bowl, we are going to add egg white protein. Now you could use unflavored egg white protein. You could use, I'm going to use vanilla. You could use our chocolate if you wanted to. We're using the J-Rob flavor of that. All right, so now we have a paste. And into this bowl, we're going to add, I got a mess going on, 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Just a touch. And then 2 tablespoons of, actually 4, because we're doing a double batch. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I actually know Beth and J. Rob personally. Super nice family. They have triplets. And if you use code Maria20, you save big time on their products. I love them very much. Now, it doesn't matter if this mixes a little bit, so we're just going to mix that together. And then we're going to add a little stevia glycerite. Just kind of round out the sweetness. And we're going to add, you could add liquid egg whites. We are going to use actually 2, since we're doing a double batch, 2 egg whites. Save the yolks for ice cream. You can save the yolks for hollandaise, béarnaise, whatever you want. So into this. Actually, that was supposed to go into this one. I'm distracted. There we go. And I'm going to mix that together. And then we'll combine the 2. Now, if you wanted to, you could taste this before you bake it off. Make sure it's sweet enough to your liking, but just know whenever you bake something, it's going to be less sweet. when you use these natural sweeteners like we are. And you want it to be really pasty because we're going to roll it into balls, just like a Reese's Puff cereal. All right, let's mix these two together. I really wish I would have remembered to put the egg white in the chocolate one. That's all right. So you can see the paste is coming together. I can't believe I used to live off of cereal. How did I even focus at school? And if you wanted to add like an extract, like almond extract, something like that, you certainly could. But at this point, you have your nice paste. We have our oven on at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm just gonna make it into little balls like this. And you're only gonna put it in the oven for about 2 to 3 minutes at 325, and then you lower the heat to 300 for another 15 minutes. I don't know if this little thing is working very well. I should just do it by hand. But we're gonna pop these in the oven and have some cereal. Okay, friends, so we have some done. Nice and crispy little. This would be great to bring on a flight, a long flight. I have a long flight to India, so maybe I'll bring some of this. I think that's a great idea. But I wanted to show you. You could see how sticky it was when I first made it. And I know how Equip gets more solidified if it cools. So I put this in the freezer for the 15 minutes that these were baking. And this is, whoa, that just flew off the floor. This is way more easy to form. So it doesn't stick on your hands at all. So I would suggest to put this in the freezer before you make it into balls. And maybe I'll make a note on the recipe because it's just so much easier to form right now. And I also made some peanut butter ones just so we could do Kai's taste tests and maybe he wants to mix them. And I'm also gonna do some with the strawberry flavor. Make like a little berry Captain Crunch thing. So yeah, we have some carnivore cereal. We hope that you make it and love it as much as we do. Hey Kai.
Hey.
Show everybody your chains.
No.
No.
Sure. It's just this.
Oh, it's connected.
Yeah. It's like.
Oh, the magnet is
yeah.
connected. It's a nice chain.
Thank you.
Did you get it for Christmas? It came late.
Yeah.
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 It came late. So where I have the strawberry ones, they puffed up really, really nice. And we also have chocolate peanut butter for you if you want to put a little unsweetened coconut milk in there. You said you wanted to try it like real cereal.
Yeah.
So
peanut butter.
You know, those are strawberry, and I know you don't love the strawberry flavor. You want to try a bite?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
Okay. If they didn't get crispy enough, people put it back in the oven so they get nice and crispy because you definitely want the cereal varnish on Christmas vacation, right?
Yeah.
The cereal varnish. I hear the crunch.
Mmm.
What would you rate that 1 through 10? And people, he saves his 10s for Wagyu steak. He's going in for another bite, so it can't be that bad. Do you like peanut butter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Like what?
It's okay. Yep, he saves 10 for Wagyu steak. We rarely get over a 9.
8.5. I love cereal.
8.5. All right, people. We want to know what you think of this. If you try this, rate it in the comments 1 through 10. Maybe your kids will try it and like it. And again, you can mix and match the flavors. You could do the caramel, the salted caramel flavor of the Equip. You could do all the different kinds. So, and I'm definitely going to bring this on my flight to India. So, Kai, what do you want to tell people?
Cook with your kids.
Cook with your